Alright everyone, Supreme Kami over here. So we are going to be doing the Alteration review for the S attribute Harute Gundam over here. But before doing that, I am actually going to be doing some summons over here because I do need some event multiplier for this week anyway. So why not try our luck? So I'm probably only going to do the first rotation. I don't know if I can get what I want. So primarily I just want the arm piece and I'm done. So man, I just wish I can oh, okay, alright, okay. So it looks like the RNG is on my side so far, you know. If I see the arm part, like I am gonna scream, literally. Like I just need arm part and I'm done. Please, please drop the arm, man. Like, don't play with me. Okay, so it looks like it's gonna be the last slot, maybe. I don't know. Oh, is that the arm? Oh my gosh, I thought that was the arm part. Please, no. Don't do that, man. Alright, so step 2 over here. So in terms of this overall banner, it's not going to be anything too crazy. So it's basically going to be the same thing. You are getting that 6-star or that 7-star awakening material. So that's pretty much it. So I am skipping this one. Yeah, that was sad. Like what is that? Alright, so let's see what we can get. Like if I can get the arm, please just drop me the arm. That's it. We were so close. Okay, so we're gonna start. I don't think I'm gonna get multiple. Getting multiple will be the dream. Please. Oh no, it's the range one. No, come on, man. Don't do that to me. Come on. I might actually do one more. Oh, arm. Oh my gosh, no. You know what? The game trolling, man. I'm gonna do one more rotation because I have the horses right now. But come on, man. Don't need the range rifle and all that. Okay, alright. Yeah, if you guys are watching this at home, please don't do this. This is a very dangerous thing to be doing. Trying to summon for that specific part is not the best thing in the world. So I don't know if I can get the armor there. Dude, what? Come on now. That cannot be real, right? Let's look at another back part. This is a troll, man. This has gotta be a troll or a low battery. Alright, so let's see if the middle step can do the job right here as well. Oh gosh, please don't do this. Okay, I mean, yes, yes, we did it. But what is that? No, don't give me a shooting power boosting. Oh, we got it, guys. We secured the part. We are done. Gonna do the last rotation and we are set. My gosh. Took me that long to get an arm. I was planning to do it within 4,500, but now it looks like that we are going into overtime or overdrive mode, going to 9,000. Come on, man. But I'm glad I got it. Alright, I can't complain. That's good, actually. Alright, you got the arm part right there because the arm part is actually I will have to say I say the arm part is good because I am a little bit biased in terms of having those puppy skill effects trait. They are innately just allowing you to do a lot more damage overall if you do have the right build. So yes, I am a little bit biased, so that's kind of my part right there. Oh yes. We got another arm. We secured arm. Let's get it. Guys. So we got this as an EX boosting as well. Let's get it. Alright, taking that. We are taking this W home. We are taking that. We own it today. Alright. So I don't think I will get anything in the bag. So I think the only thing I'm missing is actually the leg and then the head part. I mean, if I can get the head part, it's definitely another W as well, but no, we couldn't. So we're getting a lot of doubles today. Alright, that's it. I'm out. Okay. So I'm just shy of doing another summon with it, but that's it. So jumping into the Alteration review right now. So we are at the Alteration page over here. So how good is the SHB Harute Gundam over here? Or are there any parts that you want to be chasing or want to add to your wish list for something you want to get eventually? So same old special right here. So this one is going to be applicable to the alternative attribute. So whatever word tag is applied for the tag attribute, you will be able to use it. So that is something you want to keep that in mind. The condition of using the other attributes, the word tag, is if you have to tech attribute part, just any of the part. So basically you have to have the corresponding parts, and then you'll be able to access it once you get this one to the 7-star rating. So let's do kind of start things off the head. So head part, you guys can see that the stat is not really that overall impressive, I would have to say. I think it's pretty much like what they have been doing. I have been seeing a trend of like a lot of like really balanced out portrait. Like they're going something now with like all power boosting. So that really is a very good thing that they're doing. So you can have one good portrait like this right here, and then just share it with like shooting build and melee build. But this one, unfortunately, they lock it to only high mobility, so you can't really use this on a shooting build, unfortunately. So that is quite the unfortunate factor. But double 40% rate, this is one of the part that you want to be chasing with sir. So this one, all power boosting, so that's, I mean, like they could just make that as an EXQ power boosting and that should be fine. But this one you will be able to do some good damage for your normal shooting attack, normal melee attack, EXQ that are both shot and melee. So that is the benefit of the portrait there. But that condition, if they would have made this high firepower, that is legit 100% a very good part that you will like to alter on the spot for sure. And then this one, second condition, while shot attack is over 10,000, another 40% rate boosting. So alright, pretty good. Overall stat, you guys can see that the armor is actually quite hot as well. The melee and defense, so both the melee attack and melee defense is looking pretty standard. They're not anything like really high. So in terms of where they place, they are pretty good actually, coming into 8,400, so that's pretty good. Shot attack is not that shabby either, but I would say that the shot defense is definitely lacking a little bit in terms of what it's packing, so it's not gonna make it into like the higher up. So but overall, if you guys are able to pull the head part, definitely something good for your melee build for sure. So moving on to the torso. Torso does have some incredibly high armor right there, but all the other category are going to be, you know, slightly just lagging behind. So both your melee and shot parameter are fairly similar, so 5,700 and then 5,500, so that's actually pretty good. But this one is obviously going to be a melee centric build, because look at that. So they want you to use the Outfighter job lesson, so that is a very good hint that this is a melee centric suit. So the first condition of the portrait is that you have to run this off. Basically you can gain that additional effects right there when you are running against, let's say, type attribute, sorry, type advantage, excuse me. So when you're facing it against let's say P attribute, you will be able to get that. So this portrait right here is a very confusing one, and I literally have to kind of retest this myself, like after seeing somebody else do it, because like in terms of the melee enemy melee cut by 30%, it's a very kind of like a vague kind of statement here, so it's not anything too clear, like what is it being cut, you know. So actually this is just another kind of like a boosting. So this one is going to be specifically for your melee. So we have seen this for both EXQ and now shooting and melee now. So this is just basically like another good all power boosting. But I don't know, like they could have simply stated that, but maybe in terms of 30% cut is a little bit higher than just strictly having a power boosting. It could be actually, because like in terms of cutting, maybe it's actually cutting, let's say, your opponent's defensive stats, so you can do more damage. But what I test in terms of overall damage from like a strictly power boosting trait, damage wise is fairly similar. So I don't know how this will actually turns out if you have multiple running at the same time. So I mean, it can be higher, but right now I just don't have too many of these parts to test it out and just have. So basically what I will have to do, I will have to get the exact same setup with the actual power boosting and the melee cut right there, or just any of the cut minus by an X percent of damage. But so far from what we have seen is basically just another power boosting. Since this one is just regularly like a 30 to 35, so this is not too much of an investment, I will have to say. So if you guys were able to pull the torso, I don't think this is like the part that you will have to alterate for sure, because like in terms of overall stat, we are not looking that high from the roster. So if you guys are able to pull this one, you guys can, like, if you guys want to alterate it, simply alterate it if you don't have any other part, for example. But if you have any better chest pieces out there already, this one can definitely get a skip for sure. Right, so moving on to the arm part. So the arm part I like about the arm part is simply because of the fact that we are finally getting a universal EXQ power boosting right there, or just a bump EXQ effects over there. So this time around they're actually bumping this one to 35%. So right now that is simply one of the highest multiplier we have seen, so that's actually pretty good. So why do I like the part trait that much? Because simply when you have these effects right there, so you can run a multiple of above EXQ effects trait, so you can roughly get up to, I think the most effective one you can get right now is definitely on your torso, arm pieces, back part, melee weapon, and then your ranged weapon, and then your shield, and then definitely your pilot as well. So you can roughly get about, I want to say closing into 150%. So let's say you're giving 150% buff EXQ effects, you can apply that to anything that has the attack buffer. For example, like let's take a look at the Harute's EXQ over here. So this one's the condition is raises melee attack of your squad by 40%, right? So let's say you have the trait above EXQ effects, so you basically apply, you basically just add on to this. So instead of doing only 40, you are doing what, like 75? So that's basically how it works. So if you activate 3 up to 3 EXQ that has similar trait like that, so you're basically adding on what, 110 for just having that one trait right there. So that's why these part traits are just very important in terms of trying to do a lot of damage. So even this one, in terms of it's a new iteration of 35%, you're already starting out, whoops, wrong parts. So you're already starting out at 20%. So that is quite powerful already. So this is definitely something worth mentioning. Probably I will have to say the best chaser part of the set. Word type wise, it's going to be high mobility and high firepower. I think all of them are pretty much the same up to now. And then once we start moving on to the legs, they are going to change slightly whatsoever. So this is definitely something you can use on both builds, because the secondary portrait is only EXQ power boosting by 40%. So when buffed, when it's buffed, so when buffed this, so you guys will see that I'll actually include a screenshot. So below your what is it, your hoverboard, what will you call it, like your whatever that thing is, you will actually see that you have some icons, like those are blue icons, attack icons, like for your melee and shooting. So those are like indication that you already buffed it. So under those circumstances, that is when you can activate this right here. So normally speaking, you would have to activate some sort of like so let's say your ally or yourself, you have to activate any buffer in order to get traders right here. So that's pretty much it right there. So pretty much self-explanatory. So moving on to the leg part, see what we have. So the leg part is definitely not really that high in stat. I would have to say that armor is pretty decent as well. So both the offensive, you know, melee and shot, they are fairly close to each other. So Transam over here. All right. So racer speed by 20%, attack up, melee attack up by 39%, and then beam resistance up by 49%. Okay, it's kind of solid, I guess, but definitely not something to like, oh, like I gotta have it. For example, simply speaking, this is not something I will alterate for just for the reason of it. So I mean, even a stat is not like, oh, like really high on the spot. So if you guys were able to get the leg part, I will have to say maybe hold up onto alterating it, because I feel like this is not even like the best blade pieces to be looking at. High mobility and then transformer, so definitely not your traditional war type for a melee build. So simply is bad. I will have to say skip out on the leg right now. Alright, moving on to the backpack. Let's see what we're looking at in terms of stat department. So actually quite high on the roster, so that's actually quite good. So they're currently top 3 on the list. So EXQ wise, they really didn't change up anything, so they basically just adding this one over here. I believe the attack multiplier is actually higher now, and instead like the one we got for tech attribute maybe was like for 39%. Let me check, because I already do have the build right here. So I built out the original version already. So we were sitting, oh, they're basically the same, they're mine. So they didn't even bother to do any adjustment to the awakening right there or the attack buffer. So that is sad to see actually. So in terms of stat, definitely really good. So if you do want to alterate it, simply this is for the fact that you want to use the stat that is given. Word type wise may not be the best in terms of subslot either. High mobility definitely good for a melee build. But in terms of transformer, I don't know. It's just transformer is still beneficial to a melee build. So that is definitely something you want to take that into consideration as well. But overall, this is gonna be one of those part right there that you want to decide for your own. Because this EXU is not really that impressive. If you guys do already have the original Harvest already, I wouldn't go out of my way to alterate it for that say. But simply given the stat that we have right here, this is a very good part for sure. Alright, moving on to the range of the melee weapon over here. So we have the G and Sword rifle mode, or the rifle but in sword mode over here. So in terms of this one, what are we looking at in stat? Stat wise is actually quite bad. So this one is like pretty much at the bottom barrel actually, despite the fact that this is supposedly like a melee build. Word tag wise is this, I'm just gonna say this is just another power boosting, right? So this one is gonna be your 30 to a 35 split, so not gonna be anything too amazing. Condition is gonna be, so when you have both of them activate together, this is gonna cause you to lose 20% in terms of job grades increases. So that can be bad and good depending on what kind of situations you're looking at. But simply speaking, on the first and opening round, you guys should have your limit break kind of close to being done if you have the right setup. Let's say you're ready to have a 3-star to a 4-star job license. You guys shouldn't have to worry too much about activating that first time limit break. So, but I will have to say, if you do alter this one and use it, you will definitely get a sizable cut in terms of your job gain increase. So I don't know if that is definitely something you will like. So simply speaking of that, this is probably a part I will have to say hold out onto altering, just because we just have so many better parts that we can kind of get already. So definitely not worth altering that one. Alright, moving on to the range weapon over here. So this one is going to be the G and Sword rifle in rifle mode right here. So stat wise, it's not going to be too great for your melee either. So this one is going to be another one of those interesting parts here, a double initial EXP charge boosted by 20%. So without the alteration, you are looking very good already, because it is already fulfilling as well, given that EXP that first time users having that cooldown. So that's actually quite nice. But I will have to say the benefit of having both of them after alteration is you can gain a 20% on the spot. So you can pretty much almost execute like a cutscene EXP without any waiting time. I will have to say 25% is definitely the sweet spot to get off your cutscene EXP without any lag. Even with 20%, I will have to say you might have to wait maybe a few seconds, maybe up to 5 seconds before actually using it. So this is definitely something great if you're someone that is lacking in terms of initial charge boosting. So condition is not even that hard to fulfill. If you guys are running a high mobility build, this is definitely something made for you guys. But if you guys are not, let's say, yeah, this is definitely not the part to be hunting for sure. But overall, in terms of the hard routes at the S attribute, I will have to say there's a lot of parts that is revolving around using high mobility. So if you guys are not anyone that is using high mobility, for example, or just any other like word tag that is given, this is definitely not the build for you guys. Because like I would rather have you guys summon for something that is easily, you know, kind of applied to your build no problem, without having to do a lot of just kind of fixing to get some matching word tag, for example. But other than that, I will have to say the best part from the set, the two best part is definitely going to be your arm pieces and then your head part. And then all the other ones, it's just kind of like, meh, they're not really up to par in terms of what are some of the recently released 7-star unit. But with that being said, that's going to be pretty much it, and then I'll catch you guys all on the next one.